Welcome back to the third in a three-part series, the follow-up, 6 tips for a successful, crucial conversation. This is probably the most important of your successful conversation. It affects your lasting relationship with your employees by building on trust, openness, and the ability to influence your staff going forward. So what is it about the follow-up that is so crucial to the success of your conversation and your ongoing staff engagement? Is it about the commitment to the task that the employee agreed to? Is it to ensure they understand your expectations? Is it to build on the connection, relationship, and trust you're creating? Is it to demonstrate your integrity of leadership by providing support and/or resources to help the employee succeed? Well, it's all of those. So why then is having the follow-up such a challenge? Here are some reasons. It's one more thing for you to remember, what you and the employee said or agreed to do. It takes time, energy, and effort to place these follow-up meetings into your already busy schedule. You see, as a leader, you have to demonstrate accountability for what you agreed to do. You subconsciously can procrastinate for fear the employee may not have completed their action plan, and thus you might be repeating the same discussion you had in the first meeting. Remember in part 2 of this series, having the successful crucial conversation, you and your employee develop an action plan that includes accountabilities for each of you, including the measure, timelines, and expectation. Thus, the actual follow-up begins in the end of the previous conversation. Before you leave the meeting, how does this work? Well, here are 6 tips. They are critical in the journey to your success of your conversation, and it feeds into employee motivation, their success, and retention. Tip number 1, summarize the identified behaviors, problems, or challenges, and what impact they have on employee success. Tip number 2, list the specific action, timeline, and person responsible for each task agreed upon between you and the employee. For you, this could include resources, tools, or other support you're committed to providing for the employee. Tip number 3, at the end of the meeting, schedule a future meeting, date and time specific. This should be done immediately, but don't wait greater than 24 hours to get this done. Tip number 4, check in with the employee by email or in person 1 week after the first meeting. This not only demonstrates the importance of the items agreed upon, but it also demonstrates concern, engagement, and care. If you see or hear frustration, hesitation, or resistance during this check-in, you may need to ask the following: what's going on and what's getting in the way of you meeting your timeline? Or let me know if we need to move the meeting up. Do not suggest delaying it, even if the employee is having trouble completing items by the timeline. Delaying the meeting sends a message that the deadline and/or the tasks are not as important as they should be. Tip number 5, items listed in tip 2 need to be tracked and monitored and should include what you're tracking, why, that's the importance of the task, when, your timelines, and who is responsible. I know these things seem obvious, but documenting, as you all know, is critical. At the end of this video is a link to access the tracking form that should help you keep this information on one page. Tip number 6, the second meeting. You and the employee will bring the completed tracking form to this meeting. This creates accountability and responsibility for the action items. If the form is not completed, you'll need to have a candid conversation, as we discussed in part 2, on what got in the way, why, and possible solutions. During this follow-up meeting, you will be able to find out more about how you can continue developing the employee through accountabilities, responsibilities, and focused, achievable solutions. In these 3 videos, I have only scratched the surface of developing employees into successful, productive individuals by mastering crucial conversations. Your long-term success depends on this becoming a second nature. This is such an important part of shifting to the next level of success for you and your business. As a result, I'd like to invite you to have a complimentary strategy session with me to discuss how you can move yourself and your team to the next great level of success. Or if you're not ready to have a conversation, please use the same link to connect with me in a different way. Remember, to get to the next level of success depends on the quality of your culture, which depends on the quality of your relationships, which depends on the quality of your conversations. Your success is my passion, so don't delay in taking that very important step in the next level of success. Thanks for watching.